But first I wanted to talk about something crazy. And it's about this stuff called Kratom. Now, Kratom is a herbal supplement that you can find in those natural aisles where you find all like the organic, healthy stuff in a grocery store. And it's usually on the end, which is hilarious. Like, they don't want you going over there to be healthy. So they're used as, this stuff called Kratom is used as a pain reliever, and it also helps reduce, it's been known to help reduce the withdrawals from certain painkillers or opioids that people get as prescription whenever, like, say they have back pain and they get put on this stuff and they get addicted to that stuff. Well, once they stop taking it, people have used this Kratom to help get rid of some of those withdrawals. And they say that, some reports say that the smallest, like, they're not even withdrawals. Like, they act as an opioid, but they don't have the withdrawals as a typical painkiller. Well, one person said that the most withdrawals they had is just a runny nose. So it sounds like it has some promise. So this is where it gets kind of weird. The FDA is giving out the implication that they want to put a ban on Kratom. So I've heard plenty of stories about Kratom. Like I said, helping people with pain relief without having to take a bunch of prescription drugs. And like I said, the Kratom acts as an opioid, but it doesn't have the things in it that make other prescription drugs dangerous. Where you hear people about people overdosing on certain medications. Well, they're saying that what would make you overdose on a certain prescription drug might not be there for this Kratom stuff, because that stuff is caused by the respiratory depression that what those prescription drugs have, and Kratom doesn't really have that. Now, am I saying this stuff should be legal? It should be, and you should be able to buy it in bulk at every gas station? No. But just because we don't exactly understand Kratom, that doesn't mean we should just be jumping the gun on banning it. We don't understand it, so we're just gonna, no. You gotta look into it, because if it has potential, it has promise, and it's a better solution to these prescription drugs that we have now, why not enhance the system that we have of medicine? Now, the FDA commissioner gave out a statement, and a very long statement, so I read through it, but I don't want to just go on rambling for a half hour reading the thing. And he talked about how there had been 44 cases of death caused by Kratom, and they had released the info on 36 of those cases. So I looked at some of them, and one of the takeaways I got was that it shows the date of when these events happened, when these deaths happened, and the range just from the ones I saw, I probably looked at like 6 of them, and I saw dates ranging from 2015 to 2017. So that was one thing. I was like, well, it'd be way more dangerous if it'd be way more of a concern if a drug was thought to be the cause of a death of 44 deaths in a month versus it being the cause of death in a span of 3 years. So that was the one thing I was thinking. So it's a very long span of time for that amount of cases to be found. And the other thing was that he also said that out of the cases reported, the people were often young and healthy. Now, this is the thing, I was like, what? So, the ones that I looked at, it also shows like different health records and if they had been taking any prescription drugs or what their diet was like. And the ones I looked at showed information of the use of alcohol. People, it said, oh, I saw one report that said drinks alcohol daily. I was like, okay, well, that wouldn't do anything. Tobacco and other prescription drugs. Now, so far it looks weird. You know, it's stuff like this that gives me the old skeptical hippo eyes. So, and then the statement starts talking about how people that need help should go to their doctors. Okay, I agree with that. But then he continues to say, quote, there are 3 drugs approved by the FDA for the treatment of opioid addiction. Now, people were saying that he was referencing these 3 drugs called, I don't even know how to pronounce them. The only one I know how to pronounce is methadone. The buprenorphine and naltrexone. And that's where he lost me, because I'm not sure about the buprenorphine or the naltrexone, but I have heard about how bad methadone is. And I looked it up, and back in 2012, the CDC reported that methadone accounts for only 2% of painkiller prescriptions in the United States, but the drug is behind more than 30% of prescription painkiller overdose deaths. So, and also the CDC also reported that the methadone was responsible for 47,055 fatal deaths, 55 fatal drug overdoses in 2014. Now, I'm not saying Kratom is perfect, but we shouldn't just jump the gun on banning something that sounds promising and has something it's something that we haven't fully looked into. We shouldn't just jump on. The FDA shouldn't just jump on that. Because it's like saying everything is negative. Like if it shows some negative stuff, some negative side effects, we should just get rid of it. So it's just so strange to me, because the statement seems so dismissive about giving off all the information, like I just highlighted, about all these Kratom cases. It's this kind of stuff that makes me feel weird about the FDA, the CDC, and the DEA. So they do great work. They do awesome stuff. They regulate stuff and they legalize and they do a great job, you know. But some of the stuff they do, you can't say that all the stuff, that there aren't some things that's weird and sketchy. So that's what I saw this week. But